And he has paraded himself around, as you know, as being a so-called football expert.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
And you and I know that's just
silly.
It's silly, especially when you have the details. And so I figured what we should do to just go ahead and get us started today is just read our group text message thread aloud. We'll start at the very beginning.
Oh, wait. You're not really doing this, are you?
Oh, I'm absolutely doing it.
Wait, our group text?
Our group text, everything we've said, good, bad, or indifferent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get it over to Marcus. We're going to share it with the whole world to see over on YouTube. That's myworldonyoutube.com. I just need everybody to know how doggone embarrassing and how silly and how shameful it is the way he would get on there and run his mouth about you and the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
And Tannehill this and Tannehill that.
Pronouns, pal. Pronouns. Give me
Chris Park.
So who is the group text? That I just want the listeners to know.
Okay, my apologies. When I say our, I mean my world, which in my opinion is Double J, Jeff Jarrett. I happen to be along for the ride. I'm your Gilligan skipper. Although I guess technically body type wise, I'd be the skipper. Whatever. And then there's Chris Park, who is basically the boat anchor of our group chat. And he went on and on and on.
Boy, did he.
And I said to myself, I wonder how that Bengals Titans game worked out. And I checked in on the score, and we got to a point where what my dad used to call house rule. you get whooped so bad, we can change this one. It's over. Let's beat the traffic. And as I take a look at the box scores, I see in the first quarter, man, it was pretty tight. It was 3-3. 3 for the Tennessee Titans, 3 for the Cincinnati Bengals. And then that second quarter started, and as they like to say in professional football, and then the bell rang, and the Bengals managed to put up 0. Meanwhile, the Titans scored not 1 touchdown, not 2 touchdowns, but 3 touchdowns, not in the rest of the game, in the second quarter alone. And that is when at halftime, the Tennessee Titans passed the collection plate and took a little mercy on the Cincinnati Bengals and decided we're not going to run the score up. That's not classy.
It's good.
What we are going to do is make sure they don't score a single solitary point. And I know what you're thinking. Well, how could Joe Burrow, the richest quarterback contract in the history of the league, how could Joe Burrow score no touchdowns in the second half? Probably the same way he scored no touchdowns in the first half. He was allergic to painted grass. Didn't see any of it. Not one blade of it. Went 20 for 30 and 165 yards. And I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. Wide receivers get 165 yards. Surely that's what he threw to one guy. He got 0 touchdowns and 165 yards. Meanwhile, poor old Ryan Tannehill, who just took a verbal bashing and tongue lashing from Mr. Abyss, 240 yards, Jeff. Now I just say to myself, how much are they paying Tannehill by the yard? And then how much are they paying Burrow by the yard? Biggest bust in the history of the NFL, not Joe Burrow, Chris Parks. And boy, here's the inside information. You don't even know that I have this.
Oh my gosh.
But I have Chris Parks. This is real. You don't even know I have this, Jeff. I have the Monster Abyss's fantasy football records.
Oh boy.
Not just from 2023, not just from 2022, all the way back to 2007.
Oh my God.
So let's run through this. In 2007, poor old Abyss, oh, bless his heart, he did okay. But boy, what we say in the South, my grandmother used to say, I learned this when I was a kid, Mr. Abyss shit the bed in 08. You see, he went 5-8, did not qualify. The next year, Lord bless his heart, in 09, he went 6-7, did not qualify. In 2010, 6-7 again, did not qualify. And I know what you're thinking, man, he's a second half player. Here we go. 2011. Do you want to guess what his record was in 2011? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't 5-8. It wasn't 6-7. It wasn't 6-7. It was 3-10. He played 13 games in 2011, won 3 of them, came in what we like to call in the South dead last. Dead last. Well, what did he do in 2012? 6-7, did not qualify. What did he do in 2013? 5-8, did not qualify. What did he do in 2014? 5-8, did not qualify. Are you seeing a pattern here, Mr. Abyss? We don't need any more of your cold takes in our group text, sir. You ought to be a damn shame to yourself, acting like you're a so-called fantasy football or NFL expert. Meanwhile, if you're curious, I would like to let everybody know that the greatest professional wrestler of all time, Double J, he won the league single-handedly in 2018, went 9-4 and won the championship. Man, I've yet to see a ring on Abyss, or as we call him, Joe Burrow Jr.
Clipboard
Bengals. Oh, Clipboard Joey has no Jure, and neither does Abyss. It's amazing.
Blasphemous comment about Joe Montana a few years ago did him in. It literally went from bad to worse to today.
But my favorite is over the weekend, he's like, oh, you mean you're middle of the pack, Alabama Crimson Tide? They're done.
Oh, how
middle of the pack. Let's see. They're number 11 with one loss. Meanwhile, the Bengals have one win. They're 1-3. I mean, they paid $800 million for Joe Burrow. Got him 0 points over the weekend. How dare he? And we'll finish the rest of Abyss's play-by-play on his entire fantasy football record next week. But I hope we can put a button on all this once and for all. Chris Parks should never do. Chris Parks giving fantasy football advice would be about like me giving diet advice. It ain't worth much. Take it with a grain of salt. My goodness.
Oh, yeah. Sunday was, as they say in the junior pro, we played running clock football in the second half.